Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another event idea video. And today, I'm excited because we've got the Australia event. Now, this is a interesting event actually, because I actually really think that they really should make another event based on Destination Springfield, or at least the sort of general theme of it, where we get a bunch of stuff from some travel episodes. Now, I know travel episodes aren't the most popular of episodes, a lot of people don't like the travel episodes, but I'd argue one of the best travel episodes is Bart vs. Australia, at least in my opinion. I think it's a pretty solid episode as a whole, and probably one of the better travel episodes for sure. Now, this event is based entirely, pretty much, on Bart vs. Australia, with a few items here and there that aren't from that episode. I think there might just be one item, or two. There isn't very many, though, that aren't a part of that episode. So, yeah, I've based the entire event on that, so have fun. But we're going to go through all the stuff that I think they could add, how I personally like the update to be structured, basic kind of quest line, and also we'll do some tasks at the end, and animations obviously. So, let's get into it with the startup. So Quimby is hounded by a bunch of angry Aussies who complained that last time members of his town joined their or visited their country, they destroyed all of Australia by putting frogs in their ecosystem, and as such, he's forced to allow the Australians to move to Springfield. But the Springfielders aren't happy with these criminal descendants coming to their town. So he makes Springfielders protest times 3. We'll just have to do that. Protest the Australian refugees, and this will not the event. So there will be 4 acts. So the different act currencies are as followed. You got fried frog legs as Act 1. You got Australian passports for Act 2. You got catching nets for Act 3, and you got boots for Act 4. Let's get into it. So we've got the super premium first. So this is, I was like, well, what should I do for the super premium? Because I feel like super premiums tend to be, or at least when they're character super premiums, they tend to be characters that aren't that major. Like, they tend to be like very small characters, or characters who play like a small part in an episode. They never tend to be like big characters, and I think that's fair actually. I don't want any big characters being super premium. To be fair, right, as much as I love the Donut Coma costume and I kind of give it a pass for being super premium, that's the type of item I don't want to be super premium. I think super premium items should be restricted. If they are going to continue doing them, which they probably are, I think at the very least we can demand that they have them be characters that we don't really care for as much, or not big characters. And so that's where I've got this character. So this is Ginger Poodleberg, and that is a name I've completely made up, because the Tap seem to be doing this. They just add a character and then make a name up for them. So that's what I did here. So this is the Poodle Sweater Woman, or whatever she was called, or a Poodle Jumper Woman. She was called something like that on the wiki. Now, she was literally a character who appeared in the Jerry Springer show. So there was an episode where there was like the Simpsons were watching. Actually, no, it wasn't the Simpsons. It was the episode with Maggie as like Kang and Kodos' little alien. So it was a Treehouse of Horror episode. And basically, she was claiming that Kang was the father or whatever, and it was a whole deal. But she also makes a very brief, it's arguable, but there's a character who looks a little bit like her, or a lot like her, in, I don't know if it was, I'm trying to think if she had the shirt though, but there's a character in the Bart vs. Australia who looks like this woman. So I'm pretty sure it's meant to be her. So she lives in Australia. There you go. So I figured, whatever, that's loose enough. We'll count that as the super premium. So I've made up a name, Ginger Poodleberg, with the tray of donuts for $8.99 or dollars or pounds. Yeah, so that's my super premium. I had to have something in there, and that's the one I decided. Moving on. So we've got Act 1. The store for Act 1 will drop, and here you have it. You got Tobias Drundridge with the Drundridge house for 150 donuts. And so yeah, that's your super premium item. You get a character and a building. Very cool. And then also in the store, added just for cash, not for donuts like those stupid walls in the most recent Treehouse of Horror, the dinosaur one, you got the big lager for 1,500, so pretty cheap. Maybe even cheaper just so every player can get it. But basically, for cash, you get this big lager. Now, I know it says Foster's on it, which is an actual brand here's what I suggest. This logo here isn't the Foster's logo. It's got a kangaroo on it. Unless that's like a variant for Australia and they have like the kangaroo. But basically just add it as big lager and remove the Foster's thing. So remove this, just make it blue. They did it for the Rats Court Mall. It was the Rats Court Mall. It was called the Starcourt Mall in the episode. But obviously the Starcourt Mall is the name of the mall in the Stranger Things episode. So they renamed it the Rats Court Mall. So they've done it before. They can do it again. Just call it big lager. Just make this blue at the top. Get rid of the Fosters and big lager. There you go. You get away with parody law. So there you have it. Yeah, and this will just be added as for cash because I couldn't really fit it in, and also I missed the time where we have things in the store for cash, and they've done it in the past, so why not? Anyway, moving on, the questline. Homer is quite happy the Australians are here. They are a people that know how to drink and don't expect you to be nice and respectful. Homer says he's going to Moe's, but when he arrives, he finds the place full of Australians, including Bruno Drudge. Homer tries to get a duff, but Moe narrowly serves Australian lager. Homer asks Moe, what happened? And he says, this is just where the market is going. And he's switching things up some more. So you make Moe renovate his bar, make Homer try to drink Australian lager, make barflies drink Australian lager, ×3, and make Springfielders earn fried frog legs, and this will unlock crocodile drunkies. So in the story, this is basically what Moe converts his bar to, but obviously it's a unique building. I just did that for the story because I've noticed this with the travel things. They try and like say like, oh, I think with the Eiffel Tower, they basically said like it's a replica of the Eiffel Tower. It's not the actual Eiffel Tower, but obviously it is just the Eiffel Tower. So I don't know. I kind of went with that sort of theme. So this is Crocodile Drunkies. I think this is the one thing that doesn't appear in the Bart vs Australia episode. I think this appears in a different episode, but this will be added as a building. Very cool building at that. Awesome. Let's move on. Homer tries to look for another bar, but everywhere it is in town, that should be, has gone down under. Homer goes to one last place he can, Cletus, and he begins to drink his moonshine. As they drink, they see Bruno and his son Tobias hunting down frogs. Homer asks why are they being so cruel, and Bruno explains those little beasts destroyed their home, so they're going to make them pay. So you make Bart hide Bart Jr., make Homer drink moonshine, make Cletus brew moonshine, and make Springfielders earn fried frog legs, and this will unlock Bart Jr. as an NPC. So yeah, you get this little froggy Bart Jr. obviously, and he'll just be bouncing around your town. He'll be an NPC. I don't see giving him tasks. I don't really think he deserves tasks personally, but an NPC for sure. Bart asks his dad if he can hide Bart Jr. here as the Aussies are after him, and Homer asks Cletus, who says, yeah, sure. Bruno and Homer fend off the... Bruno and Tobias come and yell, get that one! Make Cletus watch the Australians ravage his farm, make Bart hide Bart Jr., make Homer fend off the Aussies, and make Springfielders earn fried frog legs, and you will unlock the frog-ravaged crops. So this will be a little bit downscaled. It will just be like a patch of crops that has like, you know, a big mark in it, and then there'll be like a little frogs kind of hopping through it. Maybe you get like a little farmhouse with it too. That could be kind of cool. It could be a building, I guess, but this has already got... Nah, I think probably maybe like a barn and then like a little crop patch with just like, you know, the big patch, missing patch in it. Something like that. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to have. Also, if you want to like build a farm, that could be kind of cool. Anyway, Homer takes Junior to dupe the Aussies, and he finds the wise guy setting up a new theatre, one to appeal to the Aussies. Homer puts on a poor Australian accent, and the wise guy, he doesn't see through it, and he lets him through to watch Knifey Spoonie's grand adventure. So you make Homer watch a terrible Australian film, make Bart dupe the Aussies, make Springfielders ×3 watch a terrible Australian film. That would be ×3. And then make Springfielders earn fried frog legs, and this will unlock the City Theatre, which you have here. So obviously this was in the Australia as well. It's all boarded up, but still be a cool episode. Actually, no, wait, this is a different theatre, isn't it? I feel like this is this like a performance theatre? I can't actually tell. Is this a movie theatre or a performance theatre? Oh, actually, maybe it is a performance theatre. Oh well, ignore my quest line. Bruno finally finds Homer, but gets distracted by the film, giving Homer the chance to slip away once more. But Tobias meets him and asks him for the frog. Homer begs him, "This is my son's frog. He's a cutie. Look into his eyes." And Tobias decides to spare Junior and let Homer go, which he does. But then Bruno chases after Homer, but he's already reached his house and he's indoors and he's safe. And Bruno says this isn't over, Simpson. So you make Homer tease Bruno, make Bart be reunited with Junior, and make Springfielders earn fried frog legs, and you unlock Bruno. Why did I put Bruno twice? Bruno Drudridge. Drundridge. I can barely say it. Yeah, but you get this character. I know this is. I'm now pretty confident this is like a performance fit. Like a stage play. Maybe I'm not even sure, I'm still like 50-50 on it. I can't tell. Yahoo Serious Festival. I don't know, because that could be a film, or that could be like a performance. I'm really confused, unless it's like something entirely different. Well, if worst comes to worst, you could just use, what's his name, Llewellyn. You can use that guy instead. Instead of a wise guy setting up a film, it's him setting up a stage play. So you can change that quest pretty easily. Moving on, we got Act 2. So we got the Australian US Embassy with Avril Ward for 150 donuts. So this would be a very, very cool building. And of course, you get Avril Ward with it, who isn't the most interesting of the characters, but hey, he's a character nonetheless. Moving on. So the Aussies have been targeting the Simpsons house since Homer pissed off Bruno and Marge has had enough. Now the Aussies are hanging their awful crude flag up in their guard. Marge decides to confront them all and tells them to stop, but Wiggum tells them that they have permission from Prime Minister Andy. Make Marge tidy up the yard, make Wiggum stand idly by, make Homer hide away from the Aussies, and make Springfielders earn Australian passports, and you unlock the official Australian flag. So it'll be this flag that we see in the episode, and it will just be on a pole like every other flag we have. Now I know they have added the actual Australian flag in the game, but we never got this flag, which was kind of annoying because this is kind of like the the meme flag that they have in the episode, and I kind of think it would be funny to have this as like an actual proper flag on a flagpole. So you get this as a flag, and it will just add. I guess it could be added to the store for donuts as well, maybe. Yeah, sure, why not? So Marge visits both Ethan and Avril and asks them what can be done about this, and Avril suggests that if all the Aussies have forgotten their passports, they can be deported under Quimby's law. Marge thinks that's a bit cruel. Their country is ravaged with frogs. But before Marge can finish saying that that's probably a bit too far, Wiggum is rounding up Aussies. So you make Wiggum check passports at the cultural centre, make Marge try to stop the deportations, and make Bruno look for his passport, and make Springfielders earn Australian passports, and you unlock the cultural centre. I tried to tie it in, but it was a bit loose. But yeah, you get the cultural centre as a building. Pretty cool looking. So yeah, that definitely could be awesome to get. Despite deporting a lot of Aussies, the leader Bruno is still around, and now he ramps up his harassment against the Simpsons. Bruno finishes up for the day, and Marge asks him if he's proud of what he's doing. He says yes, and asks to use their bog, but is horrified to see that the water goes the wrong way. Make Marge explain that the water is the right way, make Bruno be confused, make Springfielders earn Australian passports, and you unlock the Australian toilet converter, or the I guess it would be American toilet converter. So yeah, you have this toilet with the American toilet thing on it. I don't know, I actually kind of feel like this would be a cool decoration, not gonna lie. Moving on, Bruno declares that he needs to destroy every bug in Springfield, and Marge is now furious. These people are backwards, she claims. Avril's taken aback. Marge, you need to come with us. That's too far, okay? So you make Springfielders earn Australian... Wait, what am I doing? So you make Marge be detained for cultural insensitivity, make Bruno look for bugs to break, make Wiggum protect the toilets, and make Springfielders earn Australian passports, and you unlock the embassy guard. This guy will also be added to the store for 5 or 10 donuts, so you can add him again. He will be like a sort of crowd. You know how you have the Beefeater and the Queen's Guard? It will be like that, basically. I mean, they could add him as a character. I think he had a line or two, and Bart, is it Homer or Bart? One of them teases him, but I don't know. I think just add him as a decoration. And Marge admits she was wrong. It was in the wrong of what she said. It's just Bruno causing this trouble, and Evan thanks her for admitting that. And now she... wait. Oh my god. Oh, and now she's not being so mean. They can plan their assassination on Bruno. Marge is confused. Wait, that's worse. But Evans claims no, this is the only way. So you make Marge put a stop to the assassination, make Wiggum hide from the gunfire, make Bruno duck accidentally from the bullet, and make Springfielders earn Australian passports, and you unlock Evan Conover? Anyway, the other guy, the other embassy dude. So you get Avril as the premium, and this guy is the free. I think this guy's kind of cooler, so yeah, I put him as the free. Moving on. So there's going to be a Gil's deal. Hey, Gil's going to be like, yo, do you know what's worse than trying to sell gift shops are hard to sell? Have the south of the equator gift shop with the squeaky voiced Australian teen for 200 donuts. Yeah, I don't know. But Gil comes along and offers this Gil deal. So you get the south of the equator gift shop, or shoppy, with the squeaky voiced Australian teen for 200 donuts. So yeah, it is a doppelganger character with a building, but again, I say doppelganger loosely because it's obviously, it is a doppelganger, but you know, it is technically a separate character. So yeah, but I don't know. I think it could be kind of cool. And in the store for Act 3, you got Australian Pub with Prime Minister Andy for 150 donuts. So you get Prime Minister Andy here, and then you get it with this actually a nice looking pub. I kind of like this one. It looks nice. So you get the Australian Pub with this. Very cool. Moving on. So Evan and Avril are questioned by Wiggum, but they deny everything and blame Marge for the shooting. Marge is placed in prison, and Lisa thinks this has gone way too far now. She's going to put a stop to all of this. She asks Wiggum where she can find Prime Minister Andy. So you make Marge serve time, make Wiggum arrest Marge, make Lisa search for the bars for PM Andy, and make Evan destroy evidence, and make Springfielders earn catching nets, and this will unlock Tavern, Ale House and Cafe. So this will be a 3-in-1 building. I know it's technically connected to this pub, but this pub is kind of more significant. So yeah, these ones will just be like a 3-in-1. I don't know. They could do it. Lisa asks PM Andy and tells him that Marge did not shoot Bruno. It was Evan and Avril, but PM Andy doesn't care too much. He has another way that Lisa can get her mother out. Andy says the one benefit of coming to Springfield was they didn't have to deal with those pesky kangaroos, but some wanker has brought a bunch and set them all free. He tells Lisa to capture the kangaroos, and in return, he'll make sure Marge is released. So you make Lisa question the stupid rule, make Lisa scope out kangaroos, make Marge try to make friends in prison, and make Springfielders earn catching nets, and this will unlock the kangaroo with frog as an NPC. Or you can just call it kangaroo, and they have the little frog in there. Maybe when you tap the kangaroo, he bounces and the frog pops out like, what's going on? But yeah, it could be cool to get just a few animals as NPCs. I'm really for this. It's weird that we never got... The one sort of downside to the zoo update is part of me kind of wish we got a lot of those animals as NPCs as well. Just, you know, you could have some in the cage, but maybe like, you know, some you know, they could do like a story, like some got released, some are roaming the town. You could just have a few that walk around your town. And yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool to have like a little kangaroo bouncing around. I know we've got Yo-Yo, but that doesn't count. Lisa tries her hardest, but struggles a bit as she sees Skinner. And she sees Skinner, who's also trying to capture kangaroos. He explains he got into trouble when he was pantsed in front of some Aussie kids. They didn't see the culprit and they got the wrong idea. Skinner and Lisa capture one and bring the kangaroo to Gus, who is keeping them captured. But Skinner says there must be a faster way to do this. So you make Lisa try to capture kangaroos, make Skinner look for an easier way, make Springfielders earn catching nets, and you unlock the kangaroo van. So yeah, just this little van here with the kangaroo in it. I don't know. I kind of said like, oh, Skinner was using it to, you know, store in the kangaroos inside, but it's probably not even big enough, but who knows. Lisa and Skinner get the hang of it, but Snake is stealing all their kangaroos. They claim they have to beat him. And Lisa has a way. Lisa calls Wiggum and places a box of donuts in the pig pen, and Snake has a bunch of kangaroos ready to hand to Gus. But he sees Wiggum trying to bend down to pick up the donuts, and Snake can't resist. So you make Snake push Wiggum into the mud, make Wiggum fall into the mud, make Lisa steal Snake's kangaroos, make Skinner hand kangaroos to Gus, and make Springfielders earn catching nets, and this will unlock Gus's pig pen. So yeah, you get this as a decoration. I know it won't be the most interesting, but basically, like a zoo exhibit, it'll be fenced off, and there'll be a bunch of pigs in there, and they'll just be like, you know, like eating or whatever. Like one could be like rolling in the mud, one could be eating from like a bucket, the other could be eating from like a trough, you know, or drinking from a trough, and like, you know, like another could just be stood there, and they have like very, very basic animations, just like the zoo exhibits do. I don't see the harm of doing that. I think that could work. Yeah. Moving on. So Gus is now happy with the amount of kangaroos delivered to him, and he tells PM Andy that Lisa and Skinner have paid their debt. PM Andy releases Marge, and the whole town Or the whole, sorry, not the whole town. The whole family reunite with Marge. Bruno says she got off too easy. And Bart moons Bruno. He shows his house right to Bruno. And Bruno and Gus, they're offended greatly. Pierre Mandy says, this is unacceptable. So you make Marge, Bart, Homer, and Lisa run away from an angry mob. Make Bruno form an angry mob. And make Springfielders earn catching nets. And you unlock Gus as a full playable character. So yeah, I don't know. I think this one works. You get Pierre Mandy as the premium. I would say he's probably is the coolest. But I think, the thing is, right, I think in terms of this, personally for me, I'd rather have Bruno than Tobias. So I feel like I've put the coolest here. And then for me, I'd definitely rather have Evan than Avril. And then this one, I probably would prefer to have Pierre Mandy, but just for the quest line, I don't know. Because Pierre Mandy was quite involved, I kind of felt like he should be premium. And Gus was free. Moving on, in the store for Act 4, we've got the Parliament-haus der Austria with the Australian judge for 150 donuts. And man, this could be an awesome ass building. This could be so cool. Look at this. It's like 4 levels. I don't know, man. I feel like this one just could be such an awesome ass building. Make it huge, make it big, make it amazing. And then, yeah, you get a crappy character. It is just this Australian judge. He does appear quite a bit, though. He's in, he is there for the initial court hearing with Bart. And then he's there in the angry mob when they chase after them at the end. And, he's, I don't know, he had some involvement. He had quite a bit of involvement, so I think they could just call him the Australian judge. Or they could come up with a name with him. They could call him, I don't know, Down Under Judge or something funny. I don't know. Whatever. That was terrible. Anyway, so the Simpsons run away and hide from the angry Aussies, and Marge scolds Bart for putting them in harm's way once again. He claims that he's sick of these Aussies calling the shots. This is their town. Homer agrees, saying he's tired of them too. We need to put a stop to this. And as they all have their patriotic speech, the Aussies break into their house and confront them. So you make Homer, Marge, Lisa, and Bart surrender, make Bruno citizen arrest the Simpsons, and make Springfielders earn boots, and you unlock the angry Australian mob. I know, it's a crowd. I'm sorry, okay? I was trying to make sure that I stuck with just this episode and strictly stuff that appears in Australia within the Simpsons, so I was kind of restricted, so I had to go with an angry mob. I do apologise, but come on, let me off. So you get the angry Australian mob. Bart offers the Australians didgeridoos and boomerangs, hoping that will sway them, but the Australian judge does not accept this as punishment. Instead, he declares that Bart has started an act of war. Make Bart say he's sorry, make Bruno give a testament, make Quimby begin to get nervous, make Springfielders earn boots, and unlock the didgeridoos. Or at least I feel like these are didgeridoos. I was trying to look it up. I think these are, but I can't tell. But yeah, you get these, and just in the basket. It's a very simple decoration, nothing too fancy. Again, I was a bit stretched to this point. If you didn't guess, I was very stretched. The judge declares, because of this act of war, Springfield must be punished with the worst of creatures, koalas. They ravaged their country with frogs, so Springfield will meet the cruel fate. That should be fate, not fat. This cruel fate of koalas. So make Bruno and Gus release koalas, make Quimby skip town to avoid the drama, and make Springfielders deal with the koala takeover ×5, and make Springfielders earn boots, and you unlock the koala NPC. So this should just be a little koala going around the town. Again, it's cool to have it's cool to have animals as NPCs. Bart asks the judge, can they not just live in peace? Can they not forgive? Can they not declare eco-warfare on each other? And the judge ponders Bart's plea, but he's unmoved. Springfield will be known as the koala capital of America from now on. So make Bart plea one last time, make Springfielders try to live with the koalas, make Springfielders earn boots, and he will unlock Koala Blue as a building. I know, I tried to loosely tie this in. But yeah, I don't know, this could be a cool little building. And then finally, Bart begs for the boot. He'll take the boot if the judge stops this attack on his town. He feels guilty for offering the Australians and for offending the Australians and the judge. And he cries, he's pleading, I accept it, just the boot. And the judge says, fine, okay, you can have the boot. And he tells Bruno and Gus to gather up the koalas and stop releasing them, which they agree to do. Bart gets ready for the boot, but the boot man, he just can't find his boot. Someone's taken it. The judge declares that in this rare case of the bootman not finding his boot and a missing boot, the person avoids all punishment, so Bart gets off scot-free. He then discovers Bruno stole it. Not Bruno. Oh god, no. There should have been Tobias stole it. I messed up the reveal. Tobias stole it. Bart asks why, and Tobias claims the punishment is dumb and outdated. So you make Bart avoid punishment, make Marge scare off koalas, make Gus and Bruno round up koalas, and make Springfielders earn boots, and you unlock the Bootman as a full playable character. And I know that Knifey Spoony has an animation in the game where he wears the boot and he goes around with the big boot on. I realised that, but I don't care. I want the actual Bootman in the just because he looks so menacing. You know, he's got his like his chest hanging out, these like weird little jean shorts, and this big ass boot. He looks so bizarre. So I kind of want the Bootman as a separate character. I realize this is the animation for Knifey Spoony. That's fine. It can still stay, but I want a Bootman as a character, okay? Can I not have that? And then the epilogue is, now the dust is settled, the Aussies decide that Springfield isn't so bad, and they want to stay. And even Homer, Marge, Lisa, and Bart come around to them. So make Homer share a beer with Bruno, and make Bruno share a beer with Homer, and that will be it. So yeah, I don't know. I know that this last act is a bit weak, but like I said, I didn't want to have tokens. I guess in the rare case, you could probably replace like this, for example, with the returning first criminal of Australia, wherever it was, the snake statue that was added in the game. That was like the first prime minister of, I think it was the first prime minister of Australia, and it was like a snake doppelganger. They could add that instead, like re-return that, and then add a token in its place if you already have it. I would be fine with that. And maybe the same with like this. I don't know, this one's a bit weak as well. And the crowd, I guess, is a bit weak. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, moving on. So we've got some tasks and animations. So for Ginger McPoodle, or whatever I called her, Poodleberg. So we've got Theorize Who's the Father for 60 minutes. So this will be her with like a little whiteboard, and she'll have like a picture of, I don't know, I feel like for a quest line, we should just do the Kang and Kodos thing, but instead have it be like, I don't know actually, what's the alternative? Have it be, J. Regillian Christ, there we go. So J. Regillian Christ will be in there, and Kang and Kodos are like, one of us gave birth to this, I'm pretty sure. And it will be her trying to theorize who's the father. There you go. And I'm pretty sure Kang and Kodos have been revealed to be female? Or wait, I think they were called, I swear like they were like said to be both female, and then like I swear also I've heard that they don't have a gender, like they, you know, they're aliens, so there's no, you know, sort of like, you know, how sex works is very differently, and obviously therefore I don't know, but I'm not even sure. But anyway, this lady will be theorizing who the father is, whatever, we'll go with it, or who the parent is of J. Gillian Christ. So she'll have a whiteboard with like Kang and Kodos and J. Gillian Christ or something like that, or another alien, and she'll be like basically like making like connections and then crossing them off, and then sort of, you know, doing her theorizing. Apply for more reality shows for 4 hours. That will be at the Channel 6 or potentially... is there a reality channel? I mean, no. I think there is. There's that van. Whatever. Watch reality shows for 8 hours. That could be Brown House. Get abducted by aliens for 12 hours. I don't know. Screw it. Basically, there'll be like she'll be like walking along, and there'll be suddenly like a bright light, and she'll be like, oh, and she gets sucked in, and then when she gets sucked in, eventually she gets dropped off. You know, like she'll get sucked in, and then like I don't know, the light will move down the street, and then suddenly she gets like dropped out, and she's like confused. And then knit more sweaters for 24 hours. That will be the Brown House, I guess. For Tobias, we have cycle to check toilets for 60 minutes. So this will be him on his bike, cycling from house to house. And he'll basically cycle to one house, go inside, come out after a few seconds, and then cycle to the next house, go inside, come out after a few seconds. So it'll be like a similar thing to the Legs and Louie thing, but it will have like the added thing that he's actually riding his bike. Call up other countries for 4 hours. That will be in his house, obviously, that he comes with. Be grounded for 8 hours. That will be in his house, obviously. Throw his boomerang. So he'll be throwing his boomerang. It'll come back to him the first time. He'll catch it. The second time, though it will come back and smack him in the head, and he'll be a bit dazed, and then he'll pick it up and do the first one again. And then do chores to pay back the money he owes for 24 hours. That will be in his house. Moving on. So we've got Bruno. We've got drink a big lager for 60 minutes. That's where that big lager comes in. You add it, part of his quest line is it's like, hey, and because he's the first character, I feel like every player will do this. But the first thing of his quest line is, he's like, I really want a lager. And so it'll be like, oh, you need to place a big lager. So you go to the store, you purchase a big lager, and then he'll be there like just chugging it down, drinking it. And I guess the big lager could probably unlock for you to add for, like, say if you unlock Bruno late after this update happens, then the big lager would like unlock in the store temporarily for you to buy it. Badger a town hall meeting for 4 hours, that would be at the town hall. Converse with the Prime Minister for 8 hours, that would be at the Australian pub if you own it. If you don't own it, it could just be at the town hall. Plan his war with Springfield for 12 hours, so this will be him. He'll have like a little battle table with like maybe like not tanks, but like kangaroos. And who were like moving forward the kangaroos towards like a mini replica of Springfield and like sort of planning it out. And then go underground for 24 hours. He gets found out, so he has to go underground. That will be at the Brown House, I guess. Or it could be I was going to say the mountains, but I don't know if they could do that. I don't know, Brown House would do. And then you have Averil Ward, so burn Australian flags accidentally, that should be, for 60 minutes. So basically he'll be smoking a big fat cigar, and just outside of like an Australian flag, and then like he'll like lift the cigar up and it will burn the flag, and he'll be like desperately trying to put it out, like, oh shit, this is going to cause issues. Try fix American-Australian relations for 4 hours, that will be at the embassy. Buy up Australian businesses for 8 hours, that will be at any Australian business you own. Fill out emergency passport forms for 12 hours. So this will be him basically sitting at like a desk outside or inside the gated embassy, and he'll just be like writing on a desk pretty much. And then deny a safe return to Americans for 24 hours. That'll be at the embassy. For Evan, we've got search for a target to take out. So this will be him, like a little presentation. In the episode, he does like a little presentation to the Simpsons, and there's like briefly like he shows like a thing with Castro, and it's like, oh, they were trying to like assassinate Castro. So here we're basically just going through like a little slideshow of like people they want to assassinate. And it will maybe like we were like Quimby, maybe it'll be Bruno, and then it will be like a few others. Like they could have like a few other funny ones on there. Maybe they could have like Richard Nixon or the Pope or something. Translate coded messages for 4 hours. That will be at the embassy if you own it. If you don't own it, could be at the police station or something like that. Go undercover for 8 hours. That will be at any Australian business you own. Test the toilet converter for 12 hours. So that will be the toilet converter that you obviously have to get that to be able to get him anyway. So you go to that, and he'll be basically like flushing it and checking it works, and then it'll be like pumping and stuff, and I don't know, yeah, he'll be doing like lots of things with it. Probably not actually like using it like properly. And then discuss who to assassinate next for 24 hours. That will be at the town hall. For squeaky voiced Australian team, we've got promote 20% off deal. So this will be him outside the store, and it'll be like he'll have a big sign that says 20% off all souvenirs, and he'll be holding it up, like waving it, trying to get attention. Break all the valuables for 4 hours. So that will be in the store. Work a shift for 8 hours. That will be in the store. Try to replicate Aboriginal music. So this will be him outside with some form of drum. I don't know what the actual name of them, but the drums. I don't know. I saw a video years ago of like these Aboriginal Australians doing this like performance. I think they were drums. There's probably a different name for them, but basically he'll be using that, and yeah, it'll be terrible, and that'll be part of his quest line is like trying to revitalize this store and then restock all the broken items for 24 hours. That will be in the store. For Prime Minister Andy, we got have a rough night for 60 minutes. This will be him outside the Australian pub, looking very rough, and he'll have his big lagers with him, and he'll be like drinking them and having a rough night. Learn how to be corrupt for 4 hours. That will be him and Quimby in the town hall. Ignore his duties for 8 hours. That will be anywhere really. I guess the pub. It could just be in the pub. Relax and drink for 12 hours. So this will be at any river you own. He will go to a river, the closest river, when you start the task, and he'll be there sitting in his little dinghy that the rubber dinghy that you're sitting in. Is it rubber dinghy? Not rubber dinghy. What am I called? Rubber hoop thingy, majingy. the pool thing, pool float. He'll just be sat in that, drinking his lager. And then attempt to run for Mayor of Springfield for 24 hours. That'll be at the town hall. For Gus, we have feed his pigs for 8 hours. That'll be him at the pig pen, pretty much just feeding his pigs. Teach Americans new swear words for 4 hours. That will be at Moe's. Sell anti-American merchandise for 8 hours. That will be probably his pig pen or anywhere really. Brown house, I guess. Pick a fight with the American flag for 12 hours. This will be basically, when you click the task, an American flag will form. He'll look at it and he'll be like, trying to fight it. And then get angry at everything American for 24 hours. That will be, again, I guess, Brown House or Town Hall. For the Down Under Judge or the Australian Judge, set up the guillotine for 60 minutes. So this will be him on top of this building. I don't know where. Maybe here, actually. Or, like, here-ish. He'll be basically, like, setting up a guillotine. He'll be like, screw it. We're bringing back the death penalty to Australia. Or I guess now we're in Springfield. Actually, no, that could be a thing. Now we're in Springfield. We got the death penalty, guys. Yeah, so he'll be setting up the guillotine. Add new laws for 4 hours. That'll be at the Parliament. Try not to fall asleep during a court session for 8 hours. Have a hearing outside for 12 hours. So that would just be outside the courthouse. Maybe here-ish. Again, this building would have to be big unless they would scale it down. But outside here-ish, he'll just be have his little court stand there. And he'll be having a session outside. A bit like Dr. Hibbert's performed surgery outside. And then reject court appeals for 24 hours. That'll be at the courthouse. And then for the bootman, we have attempt to kick Bart for 60 minutes. So this will be an animation with Bart, and he'll be attempted to kick him in the ass, and Bart will basically duck away or move away or, something like that, mug him off essentially, and he won't be able to kick him. Look for new work for 4 hours. That will be at the job centre. Kick down doors for Wigan for 8 hours. That will be at the, I guess it could be like the Blue House or the White House or again the Round House. But this will be him and Wigan. Basically, he gets a job. If you didn't guess the quest line, he gets a job kicking down doors for Wigan. And then look for his boot for 12 hours. This will be his boot will be off his foot, and he'll be like looking for it, very confused, like where's my boot at? And he'll find it, and he'll put it on, and then he'll be like running along, and then he'll lose it again. It will like fly off his foot, and he'll be looking for it. And then search for a second boot for 24 hours. That will be Brown House. I don't know. Brown House is always easiest just to say. Screw it. We'll go with the Brown House. Yeah, but that's my event. I don't know. I think this one has potential. There could be some cool. There definitely is cool stuff in here. I think there is enough to make a major event. I know I'm stretching it a little thin, but I don't know. It's all stuff that I'd be cool with. The only things I probably would be a bit like on is like the didgeridoos, the crowd. I probably wouldn't be too big on this pig pen. Not gonna lie, they made it kind of cool. And I probably wouldn't be. And I wouldn't be too big on the embassy guard. And that's the thing. But I'd be cool with everything else, I think. Yeah, I'd be cool with everything else. So I'd say it's a pretty solid event. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you very much. But anyway, tell me your thoughts on this event idea. Make sure to head over to the Discord to vote for which one you want to see next. It will be obviously a mini event, which I'm doing next, because I can't do multi-events every single week. That would kill me. But it will be a mini event. So, yeah, go over there, vote for which one you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.